Welcome to the Terrible Football Show, episode 55. All the boys are here this week. This is the first time in a little while. First time in a while. All the boys are here, all looking beautiful. All have cams on, too. Shout out to that. I'm no longer in a location that I cannot disclose to anyone. I'm back in the studio, back home, ready to rock and roll. We got a lot to talk about today. Boys, how we doing? How we feeling?
We sure do.
Feeling
we sure
great.
do.
Yeah, feeling
Ricky,
great
you
considering that there's ice and sleet and all this other kind of stuff. I shouldn't be muted.
No, you're good. Oh, we can hear you.
Oh, never mind. I'm tripping. Hold on.
You're good.
My goodness.
That's Shane. Shane's got problems on his. Ricky, continue.
It's the dark. It's
good.
the dark background. But I'm going to take 1 second to promote my other broadcast real quick. My other podcast. So the Nooner and Forrest Show will be celebrating episode number 50. We're going to broadcast. I don't know when we're going to podcast it, but here is episode number 50. The great Tim Tebow, Darren McFadden debate. So hopefully it'll be posted next week. And so I've got a huge argument on why Darren McFadden should have won the Heisman Trophy that year that Tim Tebow won it.
I'm looking forward to listening to that one. That one's going to be fun. Yeah, shout out to episode 50 for his show. Fun fact, most podcasts don't make it past episode 10, let alone make it to episode 50. So that's a huge accomplishment. And the best way to celebrate such a good accomplishment is to have such a controversial episode like that. So I'm looking forward to listening to it. Jacob, Shane, how are you boys doing?
I've honestly been sick all week.
You have, yeah.
And,
That's why you missed last week, I think. Hopefully you're feeling better.
Yeah.
Hopefully you're back on top.
Yeah, I'm still feeling sluggish, but I'm there.
I feel you. And what about Jacob? Rocking, no glasses look this week, looking handsome as ever. How are you?
Thank you.
Yeah, I got you.
No, man, I'm feeling really defeated.
Man,
I can't wait for next season.
already done. I mean, yeah, everyone's season is done at this point. Mine's been done for a long time. So welcome to the club, boys. I'm glad we can all be together now. No, today will be a good episode. Not only because all the boys are together, but because we have a lot on the dock, honestly, to be real. Because we have championship weekend. A lot of conversation about that. You see it in the title. If you're listening to this or watching this, worst officiating weekend ever? That's the big question, because the conversation is loud right now. There's a lot of people that's very upset by the official. Even the NFL is very upset with some of the calls that were made this past weekend. I believe one of you's got a rant. I think it was Jacob. I believe it was Jacob. Even Steve just chimed in chat, the absolute worst. So a lot of conversations there. Obviously looking ahead to the Super Bowl. Shout out to the Eagles. Shout out to the Chiefs. Should be an electric matchup. Looking forward to it here in a couple weeks. We've got a little conversation on the Pro Bowl and how it's an absolute joke. Some conversation with head coaching hires. Got some news that popped out literally just within the last couple hours. And then, of course, we will all be revealing our NFL mock drafts 1.0s. All of them are done. So we're going to reveal it live here on stream, and then we'll be posting it over at Twitter at TerribleFB Show and everyone's respective Twitter if they would like. That's their choice. So looking forward to all that. But, of course, make sure to check out some Rogue Energy. Use the referral link down below because that black cherry lemonade is fucking awesome. It is so good. That is the best can by far. It's amazing. I've already bought 2 12-packs. I'm probably buying another one on Friday. I can't run out. It's do or die if I run out. Cannot happen. So definitely pick up some black cherry lemonade. And check out some Agent Ink jerseys. We got 2 jerseys being repped right now. Shout out to that. They look sick. And also, John just recently got a Gamesthetic jersey. So it's the first time I've got to see one in person, and it looks awesome. And I can't wait to get one. Super pumped for that. But anyway, let's go ahead and jump into some conversations, boys. We'll go ahead and lead off with championship weekend and everything. It is the title of the episode, so I don't want to dilly-dally on that, of course. So do we want to just go ahead and just start off fiery? Is that where we want to go? Jacob, do you want to just kind of, unleash your flames here?
I mean, I can if that's what we
I
want
mean,
to do.
let's set the tone. We have an official here on the call with Ricky, so I'll be looking forward to hearing his takes on that as well. So Jacob, unleash the flames and see what the official thinks here.
Okay, first and foremost, I would like to start out by saying that in no way, shape, or form is the NFL rigged. Those who say it is rigged are fucking idiots.
Facts.
They are dumb. There is too many people
involved
that would have to be involved in order for that to even work.
Yes.
It's literally just bad officiating that's making it look like that.
Yep.
Second, Oh, God.
The
Man,
rigged one is a big conversation right now online. People are determined that this shit is rigged. And shout out to the few people that are really going in hot on that. Like one of my favorite ones was Tone Diggs with Pat McAfee show. He went pretty hot on it on Twitter. And my favorite one that he posted that both of you can agree with, he's just like, oh man, NFL's rigged. Yeah, it must make a lot of sense that Jerry Jones just allowed the NFL to screw him out of a Super Bowl for the last 30 plus years. That makes total sense, right? Yeah, the NFL's rigged. Jerry Jones doesn't seem like a competitive person at all. And I'm just like, bro, that's fucking true. Come on, people. Use your head. There's no way Jerry would be okay with that. He would be like, yo, you got to give us another Super Bowl in here somewhere. Come on now.
Okay, so second, I as an Ohioan will state that the state of Ohio and the player and the fans are not the ones saying that the NFL is rigged. It is the Twitter heads, the people that are they love drama. They love drama. And they're the ones that are saying this. And they're the ones saying that they're Bengals fans or they're 49ers fans. And it's smoke and mirrors with them. It's not the case. Us here in Ohio, we understand that the officials are dog shit. There's no way that the NFL can be rigged. Okay, so now with the fucking rant, okay? It wasn't even just the AFC Championship game. It was both of the championship games. You have two officiating crews, two that are getting calls wrong. Now, yes, some of the calls in the 49ers-Eagles game wouldn't have mattered when it came down to the end because that score was just massive. And it's unfortunate what happened to Brock Purdy. He's going to be out for 6 months. And, you know, Josh Johnson got a concussion. They ended up having Christian McCaffrey pass a few times, which was weird.
It was bad. Who would have thought that would have been our NFC Championship game? Like, 49ers cannot catch a break at the quarterback position.
They really can't. But I think they will this offseason. I think they will.
Okay.
But the AFC Championship game, it was just abysmal. Yes, I understand that the very last penalty that was thrown was that unnecessary roughness, which was completely legit. But let's back up a few minutes. All right, when that punt return happened, there was a complete block in the back that wasn't even called. Back up even further than that. You had two holding calls. I think it was the next to last drive that the Kansas City Chiefs had. Two holding calls that were not called. Then there was a weird intentional grounding call that was on Cincinnati, but there was two that should have been called for the Chiefs, but that wasn't. And then we talk about the play. Can we talk about the whistle that blew? Can we talk about that? The whistle that completely redone an entire fucking play after a following play happened. What the hell was that? It just baffles me that actually happened in a playoff game, in a championship game of all things.
Where you have so many eyes on it. You know what I mean? Like during the season, you know, like one of those random games that's not on TV, like there can be a lot of bad calls that people get loud about and everything, and justifiably get loud about. But that one kind of goes a little bit more under the radar, you know what I mean? But when you have only one game on for that time slot, you know, obviously, and all eyes are on that game, bro, you can't let that terrible officiating happen like that. You know what I mean? Like all eyes are on that game. And now, you know, from listening to the Pat McAfee show today, apparently for the Super Bowl, the lead referee is the most flag happy referee. He's called the most flags for this past season. Great. He has called the most flags. I forgot the guy's name, but you know, they had Gene, don't remember his name, but he's on CBS.
Gene Steratore.
Yeah, they had him on, and they were talking to him, and Gene pointed that out. It's like, yeah, the ref that's coming in for the Super Bowl, he's thrown the most flags this past NFL season. So look forward to that.
I can't remember who said it. I cannot remember. I think it was on the Pat McAfee show. I'm not sure. But one of the best takes to come out within the last few weeks is that all of the good referees are now in the booths.
Yeah.
They're no longer on the field.
Pat McAfee show. I think that might have been like during like talking to Aaron Rodgers about it. I think.
Oh, yes. Yep, it was. I'm pretty sure it was Aaron Rodgers' take on
Yeah.
it. And it's true. Gene Steratore was one of the greatest modern referees that the NFL has ever seen, and he's in the booth.
Yeah.
He can't do anything.
The constant thing that I've seen about it is that, just the referees, they're not like an actual position with the NFL. That if it actually became like a full-time job and got the proper amount of get reps during training camp and stuff like that, et cetera, then everything could potentially improve, better, solid pay for them and everything. But since it's not like an actual job within the NFL, it's just, you get a lot of bums in there is the best way to put it. Like obviously there's a lot of, I'd assume checks you have to go through and training and qualifications and stuff, but you still end up getting a lot of bums in there, as we have seen. Steve also threw out, I still say that the 49ers shouldn't have been in there from the illegal man downfield, is what he threw out there. Not sure exactly what he's referring to. I was hoping one of you guys would. I'm drawing a blank personally. Personally, I'm drawing a blank. But
I do not remember that call.
But do you have more to your rant?
No, I pretty much got out the gist of it. I saw Ricky shaking his head a little bit on that illegal block in the back that should have been called.
Oh, he's talking about
It
the
wasn't
Kittle.
an illegal block in the back.
He's talking about the
He was
Kittle
on his
catch.
side. It's never going to get called. In 100 years, it will never get called. That was not an illegal block in the back. Everything that officials have to look at, they have to look at through angles. And I guarantee you, on every angle they were on that field, I don't care what angle you were on that field, there is absolutely no way you're going to call a legal block in the back in this situation, especially when it's an offensive team or a kicking team that's trying to punt the football. That's not going to happen. And by the replay, do I think that he got pushed from his side and that should have been probably considered as far as the penalty goes? Yes, I do. It was just, but anytime it comes to the quarterback or the kicker these days, they don't give any kind of leniency to it. It's going to be thrown. One of the things that we have to also remember, gentlemen. Now, number one, officials move on. We can't keep the same officials. It's just part of it. You look at what was it? Ed Hokley.
Yeah.
Was a pretty good official.
The Hulk.
I'm drawing a name. I met him last fall during a football clinic. He was one of the ones that had the tuck rule official. Walt Coleman. Walt Coleman was an official for 30 plus years. Never once called a Super Bowl. And I think the tuck rule kind of screwed him. But one of the things that we also have to remember is it's the NFL rules, gentlemen. It's not the officiating. It's the NFL rules. It's these little picky things that they have to keep on looking at. Like, for an example, San Francisco's game. There was a drive. There were 3 different penalties on a drive. One was a holding downfield, which was a 5-yard penalty, automatic first down. That was clear as day. The dude got tackled. All right, the dude tackled George Kittle. That was clear as day. I questioned the illegal contact downfield. That was also a 5-yard penalty. And there was a pass interference, which was not a pass interference call. I will give you those 3 anytime, any day, or I'll give you 2 of those 3 anytime, any day, because the fact is that it's just poor judgment. It's all it really is. It's not necessarily. It's just a poor judgment. But when you have the NFL give some of these little nitpicky rules, for a clear example, one of the absolute worst penalties in the world is a defensive holding on a damn running play. What else are you supposed to do? In high school and in college, defensive linemen are allowed to grab offensive linemen and shove them out of the way to get to the ball. But why not in the NFL? It makes absolutely 0 sense when that gets called. I absolutely hate it when that call happens. So even though you guys are seeing some of it's more of inconsistencies than what it is anything. And a lot of it just has to do with the NFL rules. That's point blank range. Now, Joe Burrow's intentional grounding was plain as day intentional grounding. Usually when there is like a running back or a wide receiver, if they're close in that space, usually officials let it go. There was nobody close, so the intentional grounding had to go. The roughing the kicker penalty in the San Francisco game, like I said, it wasn't a legal block in the back, but I think they should have at least considered that. But at the same time, when you have 22 players to, I think they have 8 officials out there, it's kind of hard to see a little bit of everything. Even when you're dealing with professional football, it's a little hard to see all that. And then, of course, the very end. Now, I was one at the very end that the penalty, that last penalty, again, that which Patrick Mahomes was clearly out of bounds. Again, where's the momentum carrying him? Because you could tell even before Patrick Mahomes went out of bounds, you could tell his momentum was going to carry him. And they've got to start considering that. Everything that you guys are seeing on the field, everything that you're seeing is not necessarily bad officiating. Yes, you're going to have bad judgment. You're going to have bad calls. You're going to have good calls. But everything you see is the result of NFL rules. Every single bit of it, because there's so many nitpick rules that they have now that you can only do defensively, and a lot of it is to protect players like Patrick Mahomes and the quarterbacks, the punters, whoever the case is. And then, of course, they're talking about even protecting running backs even more. But one of the arguments that defenders have is now that they've been taught one way to play their entire life, they're having to change the way that they're playing, and we're seeing more injuries on the defensive side. The NFL needs to come together and figure out something, because it's at the point right now where we throw officials under the bus more than anything in the world, and it's absolutely insane whenever I see this, because the simple fact is, gentlemen, I'm feeling it firsthand right now with basketball and with football. We are so short on officiating, it's not even funny. And until we do get a better system to where we can get better rules put into place, we're going to continue to see this. It's going to get worse.
No, I agree with you. I think honestly, it's a combination of your take and Alex's take, where there is no training. There is training, but there's not enough training when it comes to how nitpicky these rules are. I think in the off season, I think these referees need to be made full-time officials. They also need to be going to training camps with teams to just practice, seeing what plays are what, seeing what could be a penalty, what couldn't be a penalty, that type of stuff. I think just more training would help out a lot with the officiating.
Well, a lot of them are full-time.
Well, yeah,
a lot of them are. I mean, if not all of them, yeah, that was one of the things that was brought up years ago.
They're just not full time with the NFL directly.
Yeah.
Right. And so and of course that could definitely help. But Jacob, I guarantee you, because it's the same way in the NBA. I guarantee you, every single one of those officials watch more film than all of us combined. Because here's the thing.
Absolutely.
They don't I guarantee you, all the officials, no matter who they were, whether they were in the press box or whether they were on the field doing what God knows what, every single one of them watched film as soon as the game was over with. They didn't go home and go to bed. They didn't go to their hotels and go to bed. They stayed back and they watched that game film. That's what the NBA does every single game they have. The officials, as soon as they're done, they watch the game. They don't go to bed. They watch the games.
Yeah, I agree 100%. They're always on the grind. But I do feel like this offseason we're going to see like some sort of substantial change. I really do, because all the verdict is coming down from the top is that the NFL itself as a business is fairly upset with how this past weekend went with some calls. And also to follow back up, what Steve was referring to earlier is he was referring to a Kittle catch against the Cowboys, not this past weekend. Where he said they missed an illegal man downfield. There was a guard that was 15 yards downfield, is what he was referring to. I would have to go back.
I saw that too, but
I didn't even catch that.
We should have defended it better. I didn't even. I'm not going to say anything about that. But yeah, he was right.
Yeah.
He was right.
Yeah. No, the officiating conversation, man, it's been very loud the past couple days. And I think it's going to continue to get louder once the season officially comes to a close. And, especially after the Super Bowl, if we see a very, flag happy Super Bowl, which is just going to be very deflating to the game itself. It's going to be is what it is. But I will say, in terms of everything, one thing that I will just really agree with is, while I do think there is a lot of just bad calls that's made, man, Ricky brings up a great point. Everything that we're seeing is just based on NFL with super nitpicky rules, and that is true. He's 100% right on that. But And there's also just a lot of like that's just a dumb call. That happens. Blown calls happen all the time, but definitely feel like a lot more has happened. Here recently. So hopefully there will be an actual change kind of going into this offseason. We'll see. I mean, like I say, conversation's loud, and once again, following up with Jacob. If you think the NFL is rigged, you're fucking stupid. Like there's just no way.
Well, see, Alex. And Alex, there's a great documentary on Netflix. I think it's still on Netflix. It's on Tim Donaghy, who was the NBA official that betted on, or he was assisting and betting on games. Ever since that came out, that's really when people started really pinpointing, professional sports is rigged, rigged this, it's rigged that. And his whole defense, and he was right. He was still one of the most accurate officials in the NBA at the time. And so like y'all said, it's stupid. It's absolutely stupid. None of these games are rigged. None of these games are rigged. You could not pay me enough money to go out there and be like, play your butt off, but I want you to lose. I mean, this isn't the WWE, man. Okay, this is not the WWE.
Everyone is dead ass determined. Every sport's the WWE.
It's like, come on, people.
Well,
WWE.
The only reason why people say that is because besides hockey, every major sport league in the United States is listed as entertainment, trademark wise. And even then, what was being said on the Pat McAfee show, even if they're listed as entertainment, that's mainly just for tax purposes. That's it. Because they get more of a tax cut than what an actual sports league does, which is interesting.
It's
interesting how that works.
Yeah. Oh man, the rigged conversation. That's fucking wild. It's funny. It's funny to joke about. I will say that, but it's a fucking wild conversation. But no, championship weekend came and went. Cincinnati, KC, great game minus some of the calls. Unfortunate for the 49ers, but looking ahead now, Philadelphia Chiefs in the Super Bowl. Boys, how are we feeling about that? I'm looking forward to the game. And at this point, like, I feel like I got to keep rocking with the Eagles. I've called them to be my Super Bowl winner. Granted, I got the AFC team wrong. I was calling the Bills. They fell flat, of course. But the Eagles, man, I've been rocking with them as my Super Bowl winner since like week 7. How we feeling on this game?
You did not fall nearly as much as I did when it came to picking the AFC team. I picked the fucking Titans.
Yeah, that's true. That is so true. You fell very short, my friend. Duval. But hey,
Kelsey Bowl.
Kelsey Bowl is pretty cool.
That's what I'm thinking going into this. And to be honest, these are the two teams that I hate the most in the NFL. For obvious reasons for the Eagles, but I just cannot stand the fuck. Every time the Chiefs are in a dire situation, they always have an angel on their fucking shoulder, and they make this lucky, like Valdez Scantling's catch in the fourth quarter where it was bobbled and he ended up like what is happening? How is this possible?
I mean, the Chiefs are fun to watch, but my hatred stems from them for other reasons. Mostly, just that Patrick Mahomes' brother is one of the most insufferable human beings on the planet, in my opinion.
And don't forget about his girlfriend, too. I cannot stand her either.
Wife. She has her insufferable traits, but nothing compares to the brother, in my opinion. Nothing compares to him. He's peak together, insufferable.
Yikes.
Yeah, to me, he is peak insufferable, in my opinion. And I've actually got a buddy who's a KC fan, and he actually lived in KC for a little while, and he happened to meet said brother, and the verdict I've gotten from everyone is that he is just a rude fucking prick. That is the general vibe that I've gotten from literally anyone that's ever come around him. So because of him alone, unfortunately, I really just want the Chiefs to lose more. I know it's mean, but no, the game though I'm pumped for.
Jacob said the Kelsey Bowl earlier.
Yeah,
but let's not forget it's also the Andy Reid Bowl.
It is the Andy Reid Bowl, and I saw a wild statistic about this that Andy Reid is the most winning coach in Eagles history. Obviously, he is one win away from being the highest winning Chiefs coach as well. And that win could potentially be against the Eagles. Isn't that a wild scenario to play out? Oh, NFL's rigged, guys. Oh, shit. Oh, man, it worked out so perfectly. They planned for this 5 years ago.
Many coincidences, dude.
Yeah,
Way
I
too
know.
many.
I know. But no, I'm pumped for this game, man. I really hope it's going to be a shootout. I feel like it's going to be a shootout. These are two very high-powered offenses, and these are two very strong defenses. So it could really not be a shootout. It could be either way, man. Because that front seven for Philly is destructive. Like 70 sacks from the front seven alone. And then Chris Jones, right now, to me, Chris Jones, he's doing what Aaron Donald does. Like Chris Jones is he's an Aaron Donald right now up front. So it's just like, dude, I don't know which way this game could go. I just know I want to believe it's just going to be a phenomenal freaking game, in my opinion.
I hate to say it, but I think the Eagles are going to win this game just strictly because of the weak Chiefs secondary.
Secondary doesn't even work.
I do agree. I'm going for the Eagles as well, but also you gotta. I'm thinking about this as well. If Jalen Hurts wins this Super Bowl, is he possibly going to be getting a contract? I mean, we all know he's probably going to get a contract.
Yeah, he's getting one.
But what on the scale of extensions is it going to be? Is it going to be like a Patty Mahomes type extension?
I actually don't think we're going to see another Patrick Mahomes type extension. I really don't. I think the next like big quarterback resetting extension we're going to see, it's going to be more of a standard contract, like a 5 to 7 year, whatever, or even 4 year. I feel like that's going to be more of the range. I don't think we'll see like a 10-year, $500 million deal. But in terms of yearly amount, I do think Jalen Hurts is going to be the guy to reset the market. Yeah, it's going to be a back and forth. I feel like we're going to see Jalen Hurts and Joe Burrow both reset the market. Personally, I know Lamar Jackson's wanting to get really high up there. He's not. He'll get a lot of money. He will, but he will not reset the market like Joe Burrow and Jalen Hurts will. I do think they're going to, really, because one thing you guys got to keep in mind is, funny enough, Aaron Rodgers is still the highest year Paley quarterback right now. I think at like 50.8 million. He is still the highest. So I mean, Joe and Jalen, to me, I think they're going to hit in probably like the 55 range is kind of what I'm thinking. And the salary cap just went up. It went up to 222, I think, is what it went up to. It was 202, I think, for this past season, which the COVID year, 2021, coming out of COVID, it was only like 180 something. I mean, it's up to a record high now at the 224, I think, is what it was. So I do think Jalen's going to get. I in terms of like a Patty Mahomes, though, I just don't think we're going to see that again. Because in terms of football, besides Patrick Mahomes, when have we ever seen something like that? Like that was a baffling deal to me. A 10-year deal, like that just doesn't happen. Like it ironically enough, even though it's a lot of money, it was a very team friendly deal. Because the way they could like kind of move money around essentially. But I just don't know if we'll see something like that again. That's like to me a true one off in my opinion. What do you guys think?
Yeah, but it just won't
Yeah.
surprise me, right? I mean, Jalen's gonna come in in his fourth year?
Yeah, and you got to keep in mind he was second round draft pick, so they don't have a 5th-year option. So all the reports are is the Eagles are very like, we need to get a deal done.
So I mean, it could be like, hey, like, me, myself, and I, and at the quarterback position has helped put this team into another Super Bowl with a totally different staff and different quarterback than the 2017 Super Bowl. Like, I think Jalen definitely has some leeway to get up in that range. Now, I think it'll probably be in the 6-7 year mark. I don't think he'll hit that 10, but it'll be up there.
I agree. I think 6 years is probably what we'll end up seeing for Jalen personally. Same thing with Joe as well.
So yeah, I agree with Shane as far as Jalen Hurts' contract. I think one of the things the owners are going to really back off. I think the owners need to back off these huge long extensions for quarterbacks. As far as like throwing out 50 million a year, for a quarterback, things like that, they really need to try to back off, as much as possible as they can with, because if we've seen this recent history, look at the quarterbacks that were in the semifinals. And that just tells you right there, you've got to get your money's worth when it comes to these quarterbacks and everything like that. It's the same reason why I still think Dallas should part ways with Dak Prescott, even though it's probably not going to happen. I'm still really hoping that it does and everything like that. As far as the Super Bowl goes, so my beginning of the year, my pick was the Bills. I thought this was the Bills' year to win it. I had every statistic, everything that was backing me up the entire year. And then they just literally, Cincinnati just picked them apart, which really shocked me. However, I look at this Kansas City Chiefs team, and I know the Philadelphia is good. Philadelphia is really good. But when's the last time they were challenged with their starting group? When were they actually challenged by a really good football team? And it's been a while since they've been really challenged by a good football team. The one thing I will say is, if Patrick Mahomes is 100%, it gives the Chiefs a little bit better of a chance to win this football game. But I personally am going to pick the Chiefs to win this game. Not because I don't think Philly is a better team, because you and I both, this is a toss-up game. This is a huge toss-up game.
Is.
But deep down, I don't think Patrick Mahomes is going to let go a second Super Bowl at the last 3 years. If you look at his last Super Bowl appearance, it was against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and he got his ever-living ass kicked. And that's one of the things you're always going to remember when you were one of the best players in the entire world, which right now, as far as quarterbacks go, he is probably still the best quarterback on 2 feet right now, hands down. And so when you are just when you are that type of a caliber player, and you go into a situation where you think, man, I've got to go all in on this. If I don't go all in on this, what are people going to say about me? 5 AFC championships, 3 Super Bowl appearances, but you have 2 Super Bowl losses. That's not going to go well in the eyes of many that are going to see him as a legendary quarterback.
John Elway 2.0.
Get that second Super Bowl. And it's not just him. Andy Reid is the same. Andy Reid is almost in the same exact situation. This would be his 3rd Super Bowl loss if he loses this Super Bowl. So deep down, guys, I don't see the Kansas City Chiefs losing this Super Bowl. I don't care if Patrick Mahomes is or 10%. I don't see the Kansas City Chiefs. I don't see Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes letting go of this Super Bowl game. I just don't see it happening.
I mean, I can see that.
That's all fair points. That extra motivation, that extra chip.
Yeah, for sure. But also, what's crazy, and I'm kind of taking a step back here, going back to the Patrick Mahomes kind of deal there. It made sense as far as team-wise to do that, because I saw this stat earlier. He is only 27 years old. Okay. Kurt Warner did not do his first career start until 28.
True.
Okay, and this guy is 27, has already been to 3 Super Bowls, 5 AFC championships.
MVP, passed for over 5,000 yards, multiple Pro Bowls, which is a fucking joke. We'll get to that.
So, I mean, with him being young and accomplishing so much, I mean, why not lock him up for 10 years? I mean, it just makes sense.
What about the game? Jacob, Shane, how you feeling about the game?
I think the Eagles are going to win it. I think it'll be, probably in the realm of, I think it could be in the realm of that Chiefs Bills game. It's going to be
that'd be an amazing Super Bowl then.
it's gonna be. I mean, it can possibly break records for the score. To be honest,
definitely possible.
I'm seeing like a 42-38 type game, something like that.
Ooh, that'd be a good one.
Yeah, but I mean, but then again, like Ricky said, I can see how the Chiefs do have that extra chip on their shoulder, especially Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes. So I mean, it's gonna be interesting. Me personally, I don't care who really wins. But me personally, from my own predictions, I had either the Eagles or the Vikings there, which obviously the Vikings didn't work out. But
yeah.
So
I don't think the Chiefs defense is going to be able to keep up with the Eagles offense. They have the best offensive line in the NFL currently right now.
True.
I think Jason Kelce is going to absolutely manhandle Chris Jones.
That's going to be one of the best matchups for the Super Bowl.
I think
Chris
so.
Jones and
That's
Jason
going to
Kelce.
be really fun. And I really hope one of them is mic'd up.
Oh, I know. I hope both of them are. Let's go.
But I do not think that the Chiefs secondary is going to be able to handle AJ Brown or Devontae Smith. I really do
That
not.
secondary does stink. Like when it comes to Chiefs defense, man, it's that front seven, mostly just even the D line. But that secondary is not good.
I think the Chiefs defense is going to get tired, and I think they're going to get tired relatively quickly.
That's
I do not think this is going to be like the Bills Chiefs game. I actually think this might be a 14+ point win.
Mm.
The Eagles. Unfortunately.
So I'm going to go ahead and counter your secondary claim. This is the same secondary that picked off Joe Burrow twice.
Okay, one was a bobble. I don't think that.
Give a damn if it was
I
a
am
bobble,
I am
shovel.
I am a firm.
It's an interception.
I am a firm believer that if the ball is tipped in any way, shape, or form because of the wide receiver's fault, I don't think that should be an interception counted against the quarterback at all. Because it's not the quarterback's fault.
I agree. Counted against the wide receiver.
I think the Eagles defense as a whole, as overall, and just the Eagles team overall is right now leagues ahead of the Chiefs.
Yeah, like let's just talk on the passing side of things. Philadelphia has allowed the least amount of yards in the NFL in terms of passing. They're number one in that category with 3,057. KC is right in the middle of the pack, ranked at 14th, with allowing 3,756 yards is what they've allowed. In terms of TDs, KC has allowed the most at 33. In terms of interceptions, Philadelphia is ranked 5th at 17 picks. KC is just kind of ranked somewhere, let's see, kind of towards the bottom-ish, but not the bottom, with only 11 picks on the season. So, I mean, like as a whole, like that Philly defense is just absolutely next level from just the front seven and the secondary both. Like honestly, like I don't think people are talking about the Philly defense as much as they need to because everyone's so focused on how great Jalen Hurts is playing. But honestly, top to bottom, Philly is the most complete team. Now, with that, I'm not going to say like 100% without a doubt, no doubt in my mind, Philly's winning this game because it won't shock me if the Chiefs win. For a lot of reasons. A lot of the reasons that Ricky just stated. And not to, just Patrick, and like reasons for Jacob said earlier about the Chiefs that they have this nice little angel on their shoulder in the random moments. Like it won't shock me if the Chiefs win because they are still a good team on offense. But the deciding factor is how much is that Kansas City defense going to be able to hold up. That's what it's going to come down to. We know Chris Jones is about to play like a next level play. And be like what Aaron Donald was last year. We know that's going to happen, but it's just what's everyone else going to do? So I don't know, man. This is going to be a toss-up game, top to bottom. It really is. Like this is a true toss-up game, in my opinion. I'm pumped for it. I'm ready. I'm ready to kick back and watch it. It's gonna be great. I don't know if we're doing anything special for it. I'll be honest with you, boys. I don't know if we're gonna do a watch along. That sounds like it could be a little rough. We'll see, though. We'll see. I don't know if we'll do anything. I don't know if I'm filling up to that one after some other watch-alongs I've done recently. So we'll see. We'll see. Let's jump over to the Pro Bowl real quick. Pro Bowl's a joke. Eliminate the game. Are we all in agreement on this? Get rid of the game. Just name Pro Bowlers and call it done. Consider it like an all-pro at this point. Just say, hey, you're a Pro Bowler. Congratulations. And just get rid of the game. No event at all. The event needs to die. Tyler Huntley being a Pro Bowl, look, I know this is a happy moment for him, but the guy threw 2 TDs to 3 interceptions this year. I know he's a fun backup that people like to ride on. I get it. But, my God, why the fuck is he a Pro Bowler? Pro Bowls are a joke. It's a fan vote thing. It's been a joke for a long time. I'm not even upset that they're going to flag football because I get it. I mean, this is a very physical, dangerous game. I get it. You don't want to get hurt. We've seen, we've seen people get hurt in the Pro Bowl. There was a tight end who got voted to the Pro Bowl, Cincinnati tight end. I don't remember his name though. Jacob, you know who I'm talking about? Who?
Tyler Croft.
Yeah, he got hurt in the Pro Bowl, and he said, "Never vote me to the Pro Bowl ever again." Well, he didn't because he sucked from that point forward, unfortunately.
Yep.
So I mean, I get why people don't want to go hard in the Pro Bowl, but like, it doesn't bother me that it's a flag football game. It's whatever. Like, I'm here for more of the event more than anything else. Like, the events are usually fun, but like, just who is being named to the Pro Bowl? That's where I just every year, I always have a beef. Because so many people get snubbed and so many people get put in for the dumbest fucking reasons. And once again, that's happened with Tyler Huntley. Again, I know he's probably pumped, but at the same time, I'm willing to bet money right now this dude's a fucking realist. He's like, man, I don't need to fucking be in here, but whatever, bro. Let's go have a good time.
I'll put it.
Sure, I think they should play a softball game or something.
Let's do it. Let's do it. Like I said, all my beef is fix how they're named Pro Bowlers. That's my beef. Like, it's ridiculous at this point. Shout out to T-Law, though. First Pro Bowl. Granted, he's like a multi-alternate, but whatever.
I will agree. I think the games, how they have it right now, I know, of course, I wanted to see how everything kind of pans out after the weekend and things like that. But as far as the games, it's going to be a lot better, I think, than the actual Pro Bowl game that we've had in the previous years. But you're right. The selection is kind of dog shit. But in Tyler Huntley's defense, the only reason why he is in there because the three choices above him are all injured. So,
but like, he shouldn't even have been considered an alternate, because you got to keep in mind that's a fan vote thing to even make him Trevor Lawrence wasn't even an official alternate. The NFL stepped in for that one, the NFL had to because like he wasn't an official alternate. And I get it, it's because of injuries and stuff, like, and people bow out of it. But like, Tyler Huntley shouldn't even been a fucking alternate. that's my complaint. That's these dumbass fans voting for it.
Derek Carr's gonna be in it for crying out loud. He's not even on a team.
Yeah, hey, keep in mind the Pro Bowl's in Vegas, so this is his true farewell. I mean, like, look, if you're gonna put Tyler Huntley in the friggin' Pro Bowl, like, you might as well, like, if we're really gonna go to that level to put a quarterback in the Pro Bowl just to have someone there, you might as well fucking call Russell Wilson. He loves going to the fucking Pro Bowl. Like, for God's sake. I mean, he had a shit year, but at least he threw 16 TDs compared to Tyler's 2. Like, whatever. Russell loves going to the Pro Bowl. Send him over there.
I'm gonna be interested to see what helmet Derek Carr wears to the Pro Bowl. Is this gonna be a plain white helmet?
Could be. He should have a free
NFL
agency
logo
jersey. He should have a free agent jersey.
Like in Madden.
And like a middle, and like on the back with the middle finger pointing to Vegas, so that way he gets booed. I mean, that's what I would do anyway.
You know what's wild about that is that Vegas has not even allowed his camp to officially seek out a trade yet. They have not given him actual permission to do that yet. I saw that little news bit the other day. I thought
that's because they're going to trade. That's because they're going to trade him in the draft.
Oh man, that wouldn't shock me. That would not shock me.
Trade to the Cowboys.
You want Derek Carr over Dak?
Hell yeah, I want Derek Carr over Dak.
Absolutely.
Wow. Okay.
Derek Carr is one hell of a quarterback. I will go to my grave saying that.
I mean, I'm not doubting Derek. I'm not doubting Derek Carr, as a pretty solid quarterback. I just didn't expect that take, even with all the negativity you guys have at Dak.
I think
I'll actually agree with Jacob and Ricky here. I mean, put Derek Carr behind that offensive line with those weapons.
All right.
I think
a field day. But I think he's going to get traded to the Commanders.
Oh.
That's going to suck, too.
Carr to Scary Terry. Carr to Scary Terry. Here we go.
Which is unfortunate because I still think Taylor Heineke should be the starting quarterback going forward for that team, but that's neither here nor there anymore.
Actually, go ahead.
Also, real quick, just with Derek Carr leaving the Raiders, what is Devontae? Is Devontae just stuck there now? Because Derek Carr is the sole reason why he went to the.
Well, he also grew up a Raiders fan, so it's a double whammy.
You know who the Raiders are going to get? No. Get out of here, Ricky. You know who the Raiders are going to get this offseason? I'm going to call it now. I'm going to call it right here, right now.
On ATFS episode 55.
Exactly.
January 31st, 2023 at
the Raiders aren't going to
p.m. Central Standard Time.
Yep. The Raiders are not going to trade for any quarterback. They're going to sign a quarterback this offseason. They're going to sign a free agent, and his name's going to be Jimmy Garoppolo.
Ooh.
I like that move.
Write it on the board.
Write it on the board.
Write it
We
on the
need it
board.
on the
Oh,
board.
trust me, trust me. In my mock draft, I have a section that says big names in new places, and
I did
that's
see
one
that.
of them.
I did see that. Yeah, he did have that on there. It's at the very bottom of his Word document he sent me, and it is listed on there. So he did call that. True.
Well, Alex, we do have Steve in the queue. If you want to yank him up here, he says
I didn't notice.
he says that he's about to come in super hot with some things to say.
I
God.
didn't see it.
Oh, boy.
Sorry. I wasn't on the chat tab. That's on me. All right, let's pull Steve up. Let's have Hot Take Tuesday. Move to ATFS. Oh, this is the first time we've had 5 cams on here like this in Discord. Okay, I like it. I
Yes.
respect it. I respect it. What's up,
Yes.
Steve? What's up, man?
What's going on, gentlemen? How are y'all doing today?
Well, man, we're doing great. How are you?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Just loving this ice storm that we got and
True.
hanging out.
Yeah. I
Yep.
agree. I agree.
So, got a couple things to say real quick.
Okay.
Boy.
One, about the Super Bowl. I think it's going to be a lot closer than everybody thinks, and it's going to come down to the running games. I'm taking the passing games completely out of it. I think both defenses, the secondaries, are going to step up. And they're going to keep it relatively lower production than what we've been seeing out of those two quarterbacks and those two offenses. I think it's going to come down to defensive pressure and the running games, where the Eagles are just better than the Chiefs, and they're going to beat them. I'm going to say they're probably going to beat them by 17, though.
Yeah, I agree with you. I'll take Miles
17, wow.
Sanders. I'll take Miles Sanders over Pacheco any day.
That's true. That's true. Okay. All right. I respect that take. That's a fair take.
And, Derek Carr's going to the Panthers. That's my call.
I
Derek
could
Carr's-
see
He's going
that.
to the Panthers.
I could see that. I could see Frank Wright trying to make that happen.
And, but this is my hottest of hot takes. There's a couple things that I've been kind of looking at. Now this is in the future. I'm putting on my Nostradamus hat right now. Okay. If those fucking idiots up in Minnesota don't get their shit together in that front office and get a legitimate quarterback that people can get behind for a whole season, not just like a string of 3-4 games, we are about to see an LSU reunion in Cincinnati. Justin Jefferson is leaving, and he is going to do whatever he can, take whatever pay cuts. Joey Burrow's taking pay cuts. Jamar Chase is taking pay cuts. Justin Jefferson, I'm telling you right now, Justin Jefferson by the 2025 season will be on Cincinnati.
I'm fucking
Ooh.
here for that. I am so here for that.
He wants to play with the boys.
Wants to play with the
As a-
homies.
As a Razorback fan and watching that 2019 team absolutely murder us and watching what they've been doing in the NFL, I am totally down for that because that would be
It would be
a
electric.
very, very, very fun offense.
You
to
don't even
watch.
have to be a Cincinnati fan just to know that would be electric to watch. It'd be must-see television every week.
Yeah, for sure. That would be showtime in Cincinnati.
Yeah, I'm here for that. And they're getting an actual practice facility. Shout out to that. Indoor practice facility. Oh, man. Future's bright for Cincinnati.
They're also going to be breaking ground here soon for an indoor stadium.
Ooh.
Hey, and all Joe Burrow's going to do is, here, let's play catch and just throw it up in the air. One of the 5 receivers.
Fuck
Yeah,
it. They're
fuck
out
it,
there
they're down
somewhere.
there somewhere.
Fuck it. The boys are out there.
That's exactly what he said. He's like, if I'm in dire knees, I'll just throw it up there, and Jamar Chase will be there somewhere.
Yeah, the boys have got me. They're out there.
Dude, I'm telling you, that's what I feel is going to happen. Like, I really do. Because, let's be honest, ever since they lost, when they lost to the Giants, like, he has been either no-show, just radio silence, or he has been throwing subtle hints of get Kirk Cousins out of here. That's it. One extreme to the other. And I think he's over it. I think he either wants a legitimate person under center that the whole team can get behind, or he wants out of that fucking place.
I mean, he was 4th in the league in passing yards. He had over 4,000 passing yards this year. I think he was 5th or 6th in touchdowns. The one thing that really hurt Kirk Cousins this year was his turnovers.
Yep.
Yeah.
His turnovers hurt him badly. You take the turnovers away, you take half his turnovers away. You're looking at a legitimate threat as a quarterback goes. But Minnesota's in the same situation that Dallas is in. Nobody fears Kirk Cousins, and that's the thing. You've got to get a quarterback that defenses are going to fear, knowing
Yeah,
damn
and
good
have
and
to
well if
plan
I don't
around
get
them.
to this guy, he's going to kick our ass.
Yep.
That's what you want.
100%. Because there's only a few quarterbacks in the league that actually, send that mentality to defenses, and Minnesota is definitely not one of them. Kirk Cousins is not that guy.
Most of them are in the AFC.
And I want to stress, like, we've been usually always been a pro Kirk Cousins show here. Like Shane and I like Kirk Cousins. All right. Like we're fans of the guy, but we can openly admit that he is not a guy. That's why I specified Shane and I. We can openly admit he is not a guy that strikes fear in defenses' hearts. Like we do think that the hate that he gets is a little overblown, but yeah, as Ricky's pointing out, a lot of turnovers. It hurts. It's going to catch up. It's going to catch up.
See, and I think
Kirk Cousins.
And I don't think not only the defenses itself need to fear them, but the defensive coordinators have to be able to be like, hey guys, like if we to pretty much tell them like, hey, we don't start getting pressure, or we aren't hiding coverages properly, like this guy's going to torch us, right? Yeah, I completely agree. As Alex said, I've always been a Kirk Cousins fan. I think his heat is a little overblown, but at the end of the day, you've got to do what's better for that franchise. And honestly, right now, unfortunately, it's not with Kirk Cousins.
That's facts. That's facts. Steve, what else do you have for us for your Steve edition of Hot Take Tuesdays?
Oh, buddy. They're just so I'm gonna play devil's advocate here because I heard Ricky say something, and if I misunderstood you, Ricky, stop me now. But the penalty call when old boy decided he was gonna send Patrick Mahomes into the fucking bench, and then in turn hurt himself too. Were you saying that like they didn't take into account the momentum, and that was a bad call?
Was the right call. But what I'm saying is, in the future, the NFL needs to take into consideration the momentum that these players have going forward. I saw him lunging right before Patrick Mahomes took 1 foot out of bounds. As soon as he put that second foot in, that's when he made contact, and that's why he drew the penalty. The penalty was right. It was the right call. It was the correct call. But what I'm saying is, in the near future, the NFL needs to make considerations of a player lunging forward trying to go out of bounds, because it was clear that he was trying to push him out of bounds. I don't think he was trying to draw a penalty in that situation.
I don't think he was trying to draw a penalty in that situation either, but I will play a little devil's advocate here. I don't think it was the momentum carrying him or the contact that carried him. I think it was the blatant push when they were both out of bounds. I just rewatched that play, and you can clearly see Mahomes is 3 steps out of bounds. Osai, or whatever his name is, he's 2 steps out of bounds, and then he pushes him. I want to see that penalty called every single time. But momentum be damned. At that point, that was a frustration where he got it. His emotions got the better of him, and he made a stupid fucking call in his head, and he possibly cost his team that game and a chance to go to the Super Bowl. So he deserved all the hatred.
He definitely did. He definitely did. I wouldn't put a bunch of hatred on him or anything like that, because the thing is at the end of the day, you still have Joe Burrow, and Joe Burrow is probably going to be the best quarterback in the next 2 or 3 years. Give or take. We'll see how Patrick Mahomes does. But I'm talking about as far as like developing goes. Joe Burrow is a third-year quarterback who almost went to back-to-back Super Bowls. That's amazing in itself. And so as long as you have him at the end of the day, I don't care who you have on defense. As long as you have him at the end of the day, Cincinnati needs to be all smiles. You had zero expectations when you brought him in, and all of a sudden he's brought you to 2 AFC Championship games back-to-back and almost a back-to-back Super Bowl appearance. So
almost a Super Bowl victory. Yeah, let's not forget that.
And almost a Super Bowl victory. And that's the thing. And that's the thing. But yeah, the penalty call was correct. But if you watch it, like I watched it in real time, and I thought, man, that's a bang bang play. That's a really bang bang play right there. So that's a consideration we have to take in. Now, I believe had it been anybody else but Patrick Mahomes, I don't think they throw the flag.
I disagree wholeheartedly on that one because again, I watched it in real time. I watched the replays. Hell, I even went through and watched it again, like I said, a couple minutes ago on YouTube. It was not. It wasn't the. It wasn't the contact. Like the bang bang portion of it. Yeah, like okay, that's football. That happens. It was the extension, the intentional extension of his arms to push Patrick Mahomes. It was that. That to me is just, I mean, fuck that. Like, bang, bang out the window. Throw that flag. Because that he intentionally was going to push him.
Now, I will say, you guys brought up Osai, the guy who committed the penalty. One thing I do not agree with as far as, and you guys know me, I am a Cincinnati fan. They are my second favorite team in the NFL. One thing I do not agree with is the fact that after that penalty and after the game was over with, Osai was sitting on the bench with his head down. The only person on the sideline, all the coaches, all the players, all the staff, they all went into the locker room after the hands were being shaked and everything. And only one Cincinnati Bengals fan actually came out and tried to pick him back up and say, hey, it's just a game. We'll move on to next year. That's one thing I do not agree with as far as the Cincinnati Bengals organization. I think that was completely asinine of all of those players, no matter who or how good of a player they are or how good of a person they are off the field. It's a brother. The brother who made a mistake. Yeah, pick him up. Pick him back up because it's just a game.
Well,
Move on.
to add some extra fire, did you see the video of Jermaine Pratt?
I did.
That
And
actually pissed me off because my thought process on that is, who the fuck do you think you are? I mean, like, don't get me
Yep.
wrong. Obviously, here I am. I'm an everyday guy working my normal Monday through Friday job, and he's an NFL player. But bro, you're like a 4th round draft pick. You're not going to be. I get you're not going to be like. You're not that great. You're okay, and I get, and that's part of it. Like, he openly acknowledges that he's not coming back to Cincinnati. But you know, that video of him, I get heated moment and stuff, but that's one of those situations. Just keep your fucking mouth shut, because now he just made himself look like a giant fucking asshole, very selfish asshole at that. Did anyone else see that? Just so everyone knows what I'm referring to.
Oh, I did.
I haven't seen it yet.
Okay, the video is
It's
when
disgusting.
it was caught when they were all walking to the locker room. Everyone was quiet, and you just hear Jermaine Press like say like, I'm gonna try to quote it the best I can, basically saying, "Why the fuck did he push him? This is my last year, because this is his last year of his rookie contract, and obviously he's not gonna probably get re-signed." So basically, you know, imply, hey, you know, this was kind of his chance to get a ring because the Cincinnati team's really good and he's not going to get re-signed. This was his chance to go back to the Super Bowl. But yeah, it was like, man, why the fuck did you push him? This is my last year. Like, that's just pure selfishness. Pure selfishness. Just go look up the video. Go look up Jermaine Pratt. You know, after the game, you can find it pretty easily, probably. But that's pure selfishness. The fact that, you know, I get why if you can be upset, it's like, man, why the fuck did you push him in that moment? But at the same time, keep that to yourself, I feel like. But to add on the extra of, this is my last year, bro, you're fine. You may go to another team and be a 4th string backup. You'll be all right. But that was pure selfishness in my opinion from him.
Well,
The,
so,
sorry. The thing I think about that is, even if you are gonna talk to him about that, you can't come off in that way, right?
Yeah.
You know, it's a thing like, hey, what was going through what was your process in to do that, right? Did you think he might have been trying to fake you out? Like, what was going on? But yeah,
Was it
I
just a
completely
pure
agree.
accident?
I mean, it was completely
was it?
selfish.
Yeah, it was.
so my thing on that is I I don't have as much of a distaste for what he said. My distaste for it comes from where he said it.
Yeah, I agree.
That is a
It can-
locker room confrontation. I believe NFL players, just like Major League Baseball, NBA, any professional sport. If you're a professional athlete, I honestly believe that they're to be held and they're to hold themselves to a higher standard of professionalism than any other athlete. That's why I don't have a problem with nobody coming out and being like, "Oh, it's okay, bro," with all the TV cameras, where realistically, I believe he should have just, yeah, you sit there, you shed some tears in the final seconds, whatever, but he should have picked himself up, walked to the locker room with his teammates. His teammates should have made sure, yes, that he was with them. And then whatever happened in the locker room behind closed doors, that's the locker room, that's behind the closed doors, in front of the cameras, in front of the world, in front of the fans. I believe that they all should have had a little bit more professionalism about it, and I think that's something we're losing in this game right now, and it's a little worrisome because they're hugely influential to the upcoming athletes.
Yep.
And I'm worried about it. I mean, me and Alex were talking during the game. Like, I love Joey Burrow. I love his brashness. I love, fucking pink suit, big stogie, the glasses, the Rolex. I love all of it. His confidence, his charisma. I love all of it. But to my eyes, he's allowed to be that brash because when he loses, what does he say? They got us.
Gotta play better.
Gotta
Yep,
play
gotta
better.
play better.
I made
One of the most
mistakes.
stoic people to ever play the sport, in my opinion.
It's like there are times he's very, very arrogant, but he knows how to humble himself at the same time.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, and that's one thing I also said to Alex was there was a shot where it was the fourth quarter, it was tied, it was like 2020 or whatever it was, and they just happened to show Joey Burrow before going to a commercial, and he had this look where he was just somebody was talking to him, he was just kind of like 1,000-yard stare, but look calm as could be. But when he looked to the scoreboard, he had this like crazy fierceness in his eyes, but still this calm. It reminded me of like a 2005, 2006 Tom Brady. It fucking like it actually freaked me out a little bit because I was like, is this kid gonna be the next Tom Brady?
It's also like that LeBron James stare when he was a Heat, the one that gets circled as a meme.
The fuck it, I'll do it myself thing.
Yeah, that meme, yeah. Just that different look.
Also, my last hot take though. Leave you boys to it.
Okay.
I'm not looking so crazy now with my Aaron Rodgers to the Jets comment the other week, am I?
That one is aging well for you as of right now. We'll see.
Hey, I'll put it to you this way, Steven. I have that trade in my mock draft.
I actually, yeah, that we'll get to that soon. We'll get to that here in a minute. We're all kind of on the same boat at this point.
Yeah, oh, don't worry. I got a little pad right next to me that's got kind of like Jacob said, new faces and new places.
Yep.
And for the quarterback position, I got a couple quarterbacks moving around.
Okay.
I got Derek Carr going to Carolina. I got Dak going to Miami. I got Tua.
What?
Yep. I think Miami's going to get away from Tua. I think his concussions this year scared him. I honestly believe his concussions this year and his frequency of injury from college to now is scaring Miami, and they're going to look to get away from Tua now.
So who's going to be the quarterback for Dallas? Are they just going to go with Cooper Rush, or do you have them getting somebody else?
So that's something I've still been thinking on. Allow me to get back to you on that one. I think that Dallas might be in the hunt in the possible Jimmy G signing. I know you said Oakland. I think they might be in the Jimmy G signing there.
Jacob's face.
You motherfucker. Do not put that bad juju on me.
I think if in behind closed doors, if they get the idea that they can get Tom Brady, I think they'll go real cold on Jimmy G real fast. And then I think Jerry will look to just try to get somebody in there that I know better than Dak. Let's be honest here. Jimmy G's not better than Dak, in my opinion. I don't fucking know.
Dallas will swing to the fences and trade for Trey Lance and hope that he's going to be a star.
Jacob, with me and you being the only Cowboy fans on here, I've got to ask you this question. Do you want Tom Brady?
No.
Thank you. I'm glad I'm not the only one.
I want a quarterback who's a long-term quarterback, not one that's
Trey
going to be
Lance.
there for a year.
Trey Lance. Trade for Trey Lance. Hope that he's going to be good.
Get out of here. Get out of here.
y'all are killing me, man. Come on, people.
Man, I gotta be
Goodness gracious, give us
honest.
somebody that could play.
I gotta be honest. If it wasn't for the fact that I'm the one doing the live stream, I probably would have left just then for the joke. But I'm the one doing the live stream, so I can't do that. I'm the one capturing everything.
Listen, we all know it's gonna be big cock Brock Purdy party in Dallas. Okay?
Oh, there you go.
I wouldn't mind that. After what I've seen, I wouldn't mind that. To kind of hammer on what Steve was saying about Tua, I could kind of see Tua being an Andrew Luck and retiring because of all the injuries.
I agree.
Yeah.
I think it would.
If we saw
especially
the
having
news,
back-to-back concussions, I would 100% not blame him whatsoever.
not to mention like
for
the
retiring
report
early.
that he's still in concussion protocol right now.
Yep.
Like it wouldn't shock me to see if here in like a few weeks if he retires, and it wouldn't shock me if Miami tries to go ahead and move on. Like which
would be
Steve's
so
saying.
unfortunate.
It would be.
That boy had such a great career ahead of him if that was the case, but.
And if he does come back into this next season and he gets concussion early in the season, bro, he needs to leave. It's done.
Yep.
Like it's gonna be over at that point.
There needs to be a limit. I don't know if there is a limit rule wise that the NFL has for concussions, but if there isn't, there needs to be.
I agree 100% on that.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of where my thought process was. But for Ricky and Jacob, here you go. I got two potential things for your Dallas Cowboys. In just my opinion,
Shit.
just spitballing here. Is it crazy to think that Dallas would offer Zeke and a bunch of draft picks for the #1 pick this year to Chicago?
We wouldn't get that
think-
#1 pick.
I don't.
It's not.
We
gonna
wouldn't
happen.
get no.
I don't think Chicago
with-
wants Zeke that much.
Yeah, not for Zeke. Zeke is not even worth a second-round pick right now, to be honest with you.
No, that would never happen.
And what about Pollard? Save money.
Pollard's gonna be a free agent. He can sign anywhere he wants. Why use
Well,
draft capital to get him?
Here's my other. This is my other one. For the next year, you guys are gonna suck. Next year, it's gonna be the Cooper Rush show. If I had to put money on something for the Cowboys, I would honestly say Baltimore's they're gonna franchise tag Lamar again. And when they do, at the end of this year, Lamar's going to tell them, you're going to make me the highest paid quarterback in the NFL or let me go. They're not going to make him the highest paid quarterback in the NFL. I think Jerry Jones will.
I think they've used up their tags on Lamar, if
They
I'm not
have.
mistaken.
Nope, they can do it. They can
No, they can do it one more year.
They can do one more year if it's an exclusive tag.
I will
Hmm.
counter that by saying we do not have the fucking money to do that. We are negative
Right.
$5 million right now in cap space. And
Jerry will make a way.
Jerry would if he could get the quarterback of the future that he
I'm,
thinks.
I'm sorry to say this to every Cowboy fan out there, but we are unfortunately married to Dak Prescott for the next 3 to 4 years because of how much money we have to pay him.
Right. And I could agree to that. I know while everyone's going to be in the boat, it's time to trade Dak. Just based on how the contract is, I think, and where Cowboys are money-wise, I think you guys are stuck with him for at least 3 years.
We're also stuck with Zeke for another year at least. So
Oh, really? I thought this could potentially be it.
next year is his last guaranteed money year.
All right, then, yeah.
But they can release him for less money though.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because I've seen a lot of reports around that Zeke's willing to take a pay cut if he means stay in Dallas. So I thought that was involved in the fact that this would probably be his last year. This past year was, and the Cowboys could potentially move on this offseason.
Which I think they should.
Yeah.
And I think the Cowboys completely. I think we were good to get rid of Amari Cooper and put CeeDee Lamb into the #1 spot. But where we faltered was thinking that Michael Gallup would cover for what CeeDee Lamb was last year for us.
Right. As a number 2.
Well, I mean, and Michael Gallup's defense, he was coming back off an injury as well. So I don't think he was 100% whenever he came back.
Yeah. Steve, did you have any more hot takes for this Tuesday? Because if not, I think we're going to hop over and do some mock draft stuff.
That is all I got this week.
Right on.
So you gentlemen, appreciate you guys.
Yeah, man. Thank you for stopping by.
Thank you, sir.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna stick around and finish out the show. But I will holler at you guys later.
All right, dude. Well, I appreciate you. All right, boys. Let's go ahead and hit some mock drafts. Close out the show. 1.0s. I'm ready to get into this. It's gonna be some spicy stuff. I will also say I've got dinner being prepared right now, so let's not last an hour and a half. I'm not saying
not?
I'm
It's
not
so much
saying
fun.
speed run through it, but let's not last an hour and a half if possible. But yeah, version 1.0, we will post these on Twitter as well, and as well as our website, sparky3.com. You can sign up for free. Sign $5 a month to support us. We'd appreciate that. But revealing it live right now, we're going to go through pick by pick, each name our pick. If there's something really spicy or a trade, that person can go into detail, why they think it's going to happen. So, number 1 overall pick, Chicago Bears have the pick. I think all 4 of us have the Bears trading the pick. Yep. As the Bears fan, my stance on this, I've said it all along. I know it's the generic answer, but I'm telling you, in my opinion, there's a big difference in the seat of Nick Caserio and the seat of Chris Ballard. One is warm, one is blazing hot. I do believe the Colts are going to get this number 1 overall pick. I think he is going to send so much more to get that pick than what Nick Caserio would be willing to send. Like, that's just my opinion. Based on, Chris Ballard knows that, hey, this is potentially his last year in Indianapolis. So Colts number 1 overall pick, Bears getting the 4th, and Colts are going to go with Bryce Young, quarterback of Alabama. That's my personal pick. I think that's actually all of ours, isn't it?
Yeah,
It's mine
I
for sure.
have I have Bryce Young there as well from the Indianapolis Colts trading up. I think because I did the PFF.
Yeah.
And they actually did a new thing this year to where you can actually pick teams and trade and trade players and things like that.
Yep.
So I think I gave like 3 first-round picks, a 5, and a conditional 7th, and a player. I didn't really choose which player, but I do think they are going to toss a player in there. The 7th conditional pick I think would be optional, but
I've got one of 2, Michael Pittman Jr. or DeForest Buckner, who I think is going to be in the deal. Maybe. I'm going to throw in one last player that could be in the deal, and I know this is going to be like my hot take here, but man, if Ryan Poles really puts his dick on the table here and really tries to play kind of hard to get, and with how hot Chris Ballard's seat is, I will say it now, there is a part of me that will not be surprised if Indianapolis trades Quentin Nelson to help get this pick. Look, man, that seat is hot in Indianapolis. It is flaming hot. So it will not shock me if that happens. It's all going to come down.
Arguably the best guard in the NFL now, man.
I know. And maybe that's me being wishful thinking, but I'm telling you, I think the seat's so fucking hot. And if Ryan Poles really plays hard to get with it, it wouldn't shock me. That's all I'm going to say. All right, second pick, Houston Texans. I got him picking C.J. Stroud. He is my personal favorite quarterback in the draft, potentially. I know my other favorite quarterback is not even going to go in the first round, unfortunately, that being Hendon Hooker. But I like CJ. I just hate that he's going to go to Houston. Also, shout out to D'Amico Ryans getting the job and another coach probably being a one and done in Houston, unfortunately. We'll see. But yeah, CJ Stroud for me for Houston.
I as well have CJ Stroud here.
I did not go with CJ Stroud. I mean, I guess it's what I want them to do because I don't think CJ Stroud is as high of a quarterback as what even the draft board even puts him out to be. But I've got them bypassing CJ Stroud and going for Will Levis.
Will Levis is getting a lot of convo right now. So
he is.
That's not too far.
I looked at a couple of different draft boards. A lot of people have him number 1 overall.
Yeah, to Indianapolis or something.
To Indianapolis. Just me personally, I think if Hendon Hooker didn't get injured, I think he would be the number 1 quarterback off the board, not Bryce Young, just because of the type of year he had. Even though Bryce Young has a much larger scale of game tape, I guess you could say, but yeah, I think it's kind of crazy what's going on with Will Levis right now.
Now, I will say this much. I do have C.J. Stroud going the first round, but I don't have him going early.
Okay. Next up, third overall pick, Arizona. With how the trade is going out in my mind of Indianapolis and Chicago trading, I would love to see Arizona get Jalen Carter here because out of Jalen Carter and Will Anderson, I would love the Bears to get Will Anderson, but I do have Will Anderson going here to Arizona. I think this is going to be a good play for them and give them a dominant edge rusher that they desperately need. That's what I've got going.
I got Jalen Carter going here.
I did see that. I like that.
I like that too, but I have Will Anderson as well.
I also have Will Anderson. I think because they don't have Chandler Jones anymore. I haven't really been keeping up with them, to be honest. But I mean, with losing with J.J. Watt, I know he wasn't that major of a production.
Right.
They desperately need an edge, and Will Anderson is,
He's the
in my
guy.
opinion, the best defensive player in this draft.
Then with the fourth pick, in my case, the Bears would be here. Everyone else's as well. I will say this, and I've said it before, and I almost put it in for my official 1.0. It will not shock me if the Bears trade down twice, but not out of the top 10. Other trade candidates that I would watch for, Vegas, Carolina. Those are the two that I would watch for in the top 10. It's going to depend on a few different factors. Number one, if the Bears even want to, or if they just want to go ahead and snag Jalen here. And two, just how much someone would offer and how desperate a team would be. And that's also going to factor into what Vegas and Carolina can accomplish in the offseason. But I do have the Bears staying here for the fourth pick and not trading back down again. And I have them taking Jalen Carter.
I've got
Um,
Jalen Carter as well.
I've got Jalen Carter as well. The only way I see Chicago trading back again, and I agree, I honestly don't think it should be outside the top 5, but outside the top 10. I will agree either Carolina, Vegas, because I think if Will Levis does go in that top 3 or top 2 and not Bryce Young, and either Bryce Young or CJ Stroud fall, I think one of those two teams are going to reach to try to get whichever
kind of
one
aggressive.
doesn't get picked.
And a scenario that I could see playing out is like, let's say with the Indy trade, they do like multiple first, a second, whatever, and like DeForest Buckner right on. And then let's say Carolina wants to jump up, send us DJ Moore. You know, you're desperate enough. You're desperate enough, right? You're already a shit franchise. Get it coming. Come on. We're cool sitting here. You want Will Levis? Come on up. You want CJ? Come on up. Hey, we're cool. We're cool staying here, bro. You got to make it worth our while. I really think Ryan Poles is going to fleece in this draft. I think he's going to fleece some people.
I will say that if all goes to my plan, you will get your player here at number 4, Will Anderson Jr.
I would love that. But Jalen Carter is also good. All right, 5th pick, Seattle. I'm taking Miles Murphy from Clemson. That was one of the better D linemen in the draft, right behind Jalen, in my opinion. I think this would be a good pickup for Seattle here.
I also have Miles Murphy going here.
I agree. I also have Miles Murphy going here.
4 for 4.
Detroit. I think this is one that I will definitely be in a different stance from everyone on, from what I've seen. 'Cause I've seen everyone else's mock drafts. I know you guys haven't seen each other's, but since I'm running the server, I just kind of have to. We're trying to keep it secret for everyone here. For the Lions at the 6th pick, I actually have them going cornerback. I have them going cornerback, Devin Witherspoon from Illinois. I think he's going to be the best corner out of this draft. I think, while there is some other players on this board, like a Tyree Wilson that they could grab here to pair with Aiden Hutchinson, and would not shock me if they did that. Aiden Hutchinson is a next level animal, and I think they obviously they need some help in the secondary, and I think they're going to go ahead and snag it here. I like Devin Witherspoon here to the Lions.
I have a cornerback as well, but Oregon, Christian Gonzalez.
I like that pick too.
I have them.
I like it as well.
I have them sticking with Tyree Wilson.
That's a fair pick.
I think the Lions is trying to fit the profile, right? They're trying to get defensive line, offensive line, and build outside, right? That's the way I would build a team, whether it's college, high school, pro, whatever. That's what I would do. Secure those 2 lines, and then build out from there. Because, as I've stated on this show since I've been here, football games are won on the offensive defensive line.
Correct.
So, honestly, I don't. The cornerbacks that have been mentioned, I also went cornerback as well, just like Alex and Jacob did. I don't think it matters which corner they get, to be honest with you, because the 3 corners that we're going to mention, we mentioned 3 different corners. I've got Cam Smith out of South Carolina.
I like that pick too, honestly.
I think they pick up Cam Smith in this situation.
There are 4 corners in this draft that I'm pretty high on, personally.
And I don't think, and personally, I don't think, and honestly, I don't care who they pick here as far as a cornerback goes. They're not going to lose. They're not going to lose with this. There's no way they can lose with this.
Detroit
Unless,
is in
know,
such a
there's just
good
some big
spot.
injury.
They're in such a good spot, bro. All right, next up, Vegas at 7. So for my pick, adding on some context here. For my 1.0, as of right now, I am going to yeet out the Hail Mary that people seem to believe is going to be, the truth, and that is that Vegas will get their quarterback, and I believe that quarterback they will get will be Tom Brady. So that they're not going quarterback here. They're not going to go Will Levis, who's chilling. They're going to go for protection, and they're going to get Paris Johnson Jr. from
Ohio State University.
I want you boys to know, for his mock draft, every Ohio State player he made sure to
he
put
has
the
caps.
and caps out. I
Yeah.
want everyone to know that.
My original.
I have not seen his mock draft, but just watching seeing his player rankings and just seeing that kind of
that's true. It was on the player rankings. Yeah.
So I kind of figured.
Yeah, Paris Johnson.
We have it trademarked. It is our thing. No other college team can do that. It's our thing.
I will say this though, Paris Johnson Jr. While I think he will be the first tackle off the board, he is not my favorite tackle in this draft.
I will say, for context from my pick, I like Alex. I think the Raiders go out and sign a quarterback, but I do not think they get the quarterback that they want, because I think another team is going to offer him more money. I think the Raiders end up with Jimmy Garoppolo, but I also do think that the Raiders will pick up Paris Johnson Jr.
Okay.
And I do think he is the best tackle. It's like very, very close between 1 and 2 tackles for this, but I do think he edges out Peter.
I love Peter. He's my favorite.
My opinion, I have Paris going first, but I do agree. I think Peter is the best tackle in the draft.
Who do you have
I
going
picked
for
Peter.
Vegas here? Do you have it Paris? Or
No, I have them sticking with Will Levis.
Okay. Will Levis at 7.
I think even if they do bring in a Jimmy G, even though they do need that offensive line help, they're going to need somebody groomed for the future of whoever they bring in, right? Jimmy G, whether it's Tom Brady, whether it's fucking whoever. They're going to need to be set up for the future, and I think they're confident Will Levis to do that.
Okay. Ricky, what you got?
Pick Peter
All
out
right.
of Northwestern. I pick Peter to go here.
I respect that. All right, number 8, Atlanta.
I'm not going to try to pronounce his last name.
Skoronsky, I think is what it is.
Yes,
Yep.
Goran.
Yep,
Yes,
that
Goran.
is
That's
Holy
perfect.
fuck, I did it. All right. Number 8, Atlanta. I have them taking Tyree Wilson, who's fallen here in mine. He's fallen a few picks, could potentially go all the way up to 5. I think they're going to get a good edge rusher here for Atlanta.
I'll go last for this pick.
Yeah, he does need to go last. Here.
I have them going with another D lineman here. I have them going with Brian Brees from Clemson,
I respect that.
defensive tackle. So
Ricky.
Oh, Jacob. I thought Jacob.
No, Jacob
was next.
needs to be last. This is a very spicy one. I'm gonna be real with you. When I saw this on his list, I'm like, oh shit.
Okay. So I didn't hear that part. My bad. I also agree with Shane. I've got Brian Breesy from Clemson going here.
All right, Jacob. What do you have happen here at the
Ladies and
8 number
gentlemen,
pick?
we have a trade. The Baltimore Ravens send off Lamar Jackson to Atlanta.
Interesting.
Baltimore gets 8th pick, the 44th pick, the 2024 first and second round, and defensive tackle Grady Jarrett. And with the 8th pick in the NFL draft, the Baltimore Ravens select the best quarterback, NFL-ready quarterback in the draft, Will Levis.
Spicy. Very spicy top to bottom.
yeah, very spicy.
I like it though. I think it's pretty. I think it's cool. I'm here for it.
if this happens, I'm never doing one of these draft boards again. I'm just gonna go with whatever Jacob says. I'm just gonna tell Jacob. I'm gonna tell Jacob, send me your draft board because that's what I'm going with. I'm going with all these picks. Even I don't care if you go in and be like, well, the Green Bay Packers are gonna send him packing. I don't know, to the New York Giants, so that way they can get Daniel Jones up to the Green Bay Packer area because they want him up real bad. And there's a farm out there that he owns anyway. You know what? I don't care what it is. If this happens, I want your draft board next year. I'm not doing a draft board. I'm telling you right now, it's not gonna happen.
Man,
Listen,
spicy.
I'll make you a bet, Jacob. If you get that right, down to the picks, me personally will fly you out and take you to a game in Dallas of your fucking choice.
Ooh,
Oh shit!
okay.
Oh shit! That's a deal.
So Shane, my board and his board are gonna be the same. Do I get that same deal?
All right. Number 9, I have Carolina. I have them getting lucky here with the quarterback falling down. Will Levis. Carolina's gonna snag their guy.
Well, I
I know.
have Carolina.
Oh shit!
I
Yep.
have Carolina kind
Oh,
of reaching
shit.
here. I have them reaching for Anthony Richardson. And hey, listen, it's not me. I just think the Carolina front office is dumb as fuck.
He needs to clarify that. He needs to clarify that.
Listen, I actually agree with Jacob. I like I said, I think I may have said this before the show. I've heard things in Carolina from Carolina, not personally, of course, but from like reports from other reporters saying that their front office likes Anthony Richardson a lot, and I also have them taking Anthony Richardson.
I bet they
here with
think
the
he's
ninth
gonna be
pick.
Cam Newton
I just-
2.0.
I honestly think they see what happened with Josh Allen when a team took just complete raw talent and turned them into what he is now, and I think Carolina's dumb enough to think they could do that with Anthony Richardson.
Jesus Christ.
I also have Carolina getting a quarterback, but it's not who any of you think would probably that it would be. I think they roll the dice and get Hendon Hooker. I think-
Oh,
Ooh.
Here's the reason why. Hendon Hooker, in my opinion, was the best quarterback in college football in the past 2 years. To me, by far, if you go by the statistics that go in front of your face, he was by far the best quarterback in the last 2 years. And I know his injuries have played a really big plague. I could be totally wrong here. I'm probably going to be totally wrong here. For the simple fact is that he does have a pretty serious injury. But if they go by the raw talent that he does have, and if they get hit their medical team on him, whatever the case may be, I think there's a potential chance, as stupid as they are, hopefully they'll figure out how to make a smart decision about this, but I think they could roll the dice and go and pull the trigger and get Hendon Hooker.
I respect that. I love Hendon, man. He's one of my favorite quarterbacks in this draft, and I'm gonna say it right now, wherever he goes in the draft, the team's getting a fucking steal. And
Yes, they are.
and if I was a team,
Yes, they
I would
are.
100% snag him as early as I possibly can, personally.
Yep.
Like that's my opinion because he's got to go through rehab and stuff. Rehab is already going great for him. He's set to start, I think, running full speed again. I think in a month, I think is what he said in an interview.
Yeah, he said sometime in March.
But also, I got to look at it like this. Hey, I'm a fucking NFL franchise. We have some of the top tier medical facilities on the fucking planet. Like, hey, you need to, let's continue to make your rehab get even better. You know what I mean? So Hendon Hooker's he's gonna have a great career, and I'm here for it. 10th overall pick, Philadelphia. There was some kind of thought in my brain, like, will they trade down here maybe? But at the same time, like, why the fuck would they? They're already fucking amazing. Let's keep getting better. Let's keep getting better. And let's keep getting better in the secondary. They're already great. Let's add on to it. Christian Gonzalez, cornerback from Oregon.
I got them taking a guy who fell right into their laps, Tyree Wilson from Texas State.
That's if he's there. Yeah.
I have them taking the second best tackle in the draft, Paris Johnson Jr.
So, You guys, and like I said, this is my first time ever doing this, so it's just one of those things. So I kind of left out Tyree Wilson just a little bit. I know I know the talent level that he has and everything like that. But I went with the cornerback here. I went with the cornerback on this one. I've got Joey Porter Jr. out of Penn State.
I like that though. He's one of my favorite ones from this draft.
And I know where I have Tyree Wilson. I have him very, very low. I'm gonna go ahead and tell y'all that. I do have him going very low. I do have him going in the first round, but I have him low. But
Hey, we've seen a fall before. Look what happened last year, Jermaine Johnson. He was potentially going to go like 8 overall.
And that's one of the things that I think of when I see, because sometimes talent like Tyree Wilson, there's just some teams that be like, you know what, we want this kid, but we might be okay at this part. And right now, I really believe the Eagles are fine as far as defense goes. And so in my opinion, I think they need to beef up their secondary just a little bit more. And that's why I'm gonna go ahead and go with Joey Porter Jr.
I like that though.
I mean, frankly, right now it's really hard to see flaws inside of Philadelphia, in my opinion, because this is one of the best teams overall that we've seen in a little bit.
Another pick they could go here as well is they could just go offensive line, just because you have Kelsey and Lane Johnson, sure, but they're older, so offensive line would be also a play here.
That's why I did go Paris Johnson.
That's fair.
Because of that reason. But I mean, and speaking of like these draft boards, you also got to think, even if you may think a player may be better than somebody, you also got to think these teams are not only thinking that, but what player can be a better impact the quickest, right?
Yeah.
What's the biggest need? Like in my opinion, I think with Lane Johnson and Kelsey getting older, they're a little bit older on the offensive line, so they're gonna want to get it younger. When you have a solid secondary and solid defensive line and linebacking core with drafting to Kobe Dean and Jordan Davis last year.
Facts. All right, 11th pick, Tennessee. I have them drafting Taylor Lewan's replacement, Peter Skoronski.
Skoronski.
Yeah,
you get it right the first time and then you mess it up the second time.
you listen to AniMan Plus more and you'll figure that out. I do it all the time. But yeah, I got him taking Peter here. I will say, if the Bears trade down a second time, I think the Bears are going to go for Peter personally. That's my personal idea and pick on that is Bears will go for Peter or Paris Johnson if we trade down again. But Peter falls out of the top 10, but slides in right here with Tennessee getting Taylor Lewan's replacement.
I think Tennessee will be in the back of their mind. If there's any good quarterback right here, they might want to take a quarterback to replace Tannehill.
Yes. If any of the main three are here, they're taking a quarterback.
Yeah, but I think since all the main three are gone by this point, I think they're going to wait until the later rounds and they're going to trade for a quarterback. And I think that quarterback's going to be Trey Lance. Right here, I think Tennessee is going to take Peter Skoronski. I agree.
I have them also taking Peter Skoronski, but as far as that, honestly, I would take Malik Willis right now. Just from raw talent standpoint, I would take him over Trey Lance. So I don't see that trade helping them.
I'm taking Paris Johnson Jr.
Okay. 12th pick, Houston. So for this pick, I got Houston looking around the room. I got Houston looking around the NFL, seeing how this whole mindset goes for a couple other teams that have this same thing going on. And I think they're going to try to emulate the magic that they have in a couple situations, such as Miami, Philly, and Cincinnati. And they're going to go for a nice little QB wide receiver combo. They're going to get Jackson Smith. I don't know his other part of his last name. I'm sorry.
And Jigba.
Thank you. They're going to go for Jackson, CJ and Jackson. CJ and Jackson will be their first round draft picks. Try to emulate the same thing Cincinnati and Philly and Miami's gotten with that QB wide receiver college connection.
I was gonna do that, but I think Quentin Johnson's the best, if not top 2 receiver in the league in the draft right now. So I actually have them getting Quentin Johnson here. But it will not surprise me if they do go with Jackson Smith like you said, do what Cincinnati and Philadelphia and Miami has all done with connections from college.
Yep.
See, I do think that Houston will go with a wide receiver here to help CJ Stroud, but The word is the Houston front office is really, really high on Quentin Johnson right
Yeah,
now. I think
Quentin
that's who
Johnson
they
was
take.
my original pick here.
I think that's who they take.
I've also got Quentin Johnson. I really struggle because I really like Jackson Smith. I really like him. But I like I said with the Texans front office, everything like that, Quentin Johnson's going to be the better fit.
Listen, in my opinion, you wait another year, 2 years, get Marvin Harrison Jr., put him up there. Bada bing, bada boom. You still have that college connection. And in my opinion, Marvin Harrison's going to be by far the best receiver in college by that
I think
time.
he's going to be up for a Heisman next year.
I agree.
All right, 13th pick. So for me, and I think most of us have this as well. I do have Green Bay and New York making the trade happen. Aaron Rodgers will be a Jet. Packers will have this pick at 13. And I will say the pick that I made, I already kind of wish I would change it. It will probably be changed on 2.0 because Shane, I really like your pick here because honestly, I don't know if it was intentional on your part, but your pick was honestly big fucking brain because the pick that you made is a pick that New England could potentially snag at 14 right after this. So I really like your pick when I saw it, but for here at 13, I know they already have some developing weapons, but I have them getting a weapon here because there's so many on the board. I have them getting Jordan Addison, wide receiver from USC.
Yeah, I have the exact same thing. It's
Yeah.
a big fuck you to Aaron Rodgers.
Yep. Shane, now what is yours? Because I like yours a lot. Because your picks that you have for Green Bay and drafting them in the order that you do, that's just big brain to me. Because like I said, who you have at 13 for Green Bay is a pick that could potentially go to New England at 14, and they would want to snag them over that. I like your pick.
Yeah, this is so. I have Aaron Rodgers going to one or two destinations, and unfortunately, Jets have a higher pick. Okay, so that's why he's going to be a New York Jet next year. Because my other option would be that Minnesota gets him somehow. Okay, but again, the Jets have a higher pick. They're wanting to make moves now. Green Bay's wanting to move on from Aaron Rodgers and grow Jordan Love. And yes, I did put actual thought into this first draft board, unlike last year. And my pick is Green Bay Packers with a 13th overall pick, select Michael Mayer, tight end, Notre Dame. Because New England is there at 14, kind of fucks them up. Because they're also looking for a tight end amongst other things. So yeah, Michael Mayer, tight end, Notre Dame, going 13th overall to Green Bay.
Shane, I've got the exact same thing for the exact same reasons, and the one reason I went ahead and went with Michael Mayer because I'm not going to tell you my next pick now, but if it wasn't Michael Mayer, it's going to be my next pick, which the Patriots are going to snag in. But the tight ends in this draft are not, as far as like depth goes, there's not too much depth, so you've really got to snag talent where you can snag it, and this is
Yeah.
one of the key areas. This is one of the key areas the Packers need. I've also got Michael Mayer out of Notre Dame going to the Packers.
Love it.
I have two tight ends in the first round.
I was
and I
debating
think
on that
after
too.
after that, it's a giant fall off. I don't think you probably see another one until the 4th, 5th round. Maybe mid to late third, but I mean, honestly, it's those top two, and then there's a fall off.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with you, but here is one sleeper for the entire NFL draft. There's going to be one sleeper, whether he gets drafted or not. He's going to make one hell of a tight end. Tucker Kraft out of South Dakota State. Watch out for this guy. This guy is purely talent. He's very, very good.
I agree to that. I actually like him a lot. 14th pick, New England. I have them here beefing up their offensive line with Broderick Jones from Georgia.
I have New England picking up Devin Witherspoon from Illinois.
I like that pick. I could see him going corner here too.
I like that pick. I like that pick as well. I've got Anton Harrison out of Oklahoma going here.
Nice.
I have them going defensive line, Lucas Van, or is
Vaughn.
it Van or Vaughn?
I think
Vaughn Ness
Vaughn
from
okay.
Iowa.
Okay. 15th pick, Green Bay again. I have him beefing up the D line a little bit here with Brian Brees from Clemson, who fell this far.
I have them going offense yet again and getting an offensive tackle, Broderick Jones.
Good pick.
I agree with Jacob.
I have them continuing to give Aaron Rodgers the double bird after trading him away to 2 picks prior, and picking up Zay Flowers, receiver.
Double
off of college.
weapons, man. That
Damn, double dipping.
I love that. I love it. All right, Washington Commanders. I have them beefing up the secondary a bit here, although it would not shock me if they go D-line because I don't know if they'll be able to re-sign Deron Payne. I have them right now going Cam Smith, cornerback, South Carolina.
I have them going tight end here, and I have them going Michael Mayer, but I will say that whoever picks up Sam Laporta from Iowa in the 2nd or 3rd round is going to get the best deal at tight end, honestly.
Respect that.
Yeah, it's big respect. I really struggle with these cornerbacks, I really struggle with these cornerbacks because there's so many good ones. I've got Christian Gonzalez going here from
Okay.
Oregon. I got Christian Gonzalez going here.
This was really hard for me because I don't have a corner or a secondary player going up until this point. And it was super hard for me to choose between the top 5 guys that I have on my board. But I have Washington going Brian Branch from Alabama.
I like that, though.
Kind of a safety hybrid player. Washington's known to kind of get players from Alabama. They like that kind of funnel from them. So I have them going Brian Branch from Alabama.
17th with Pittsburgh. I actually have them getting the son of the guy who was an absolute stud for them. I have them getting Joey Porter Jr., cornerback from Penn State.
I have them going cornerback as well, but I have them going Cam Smith.
Good pick.
I have them going corner as well. Devon Witherspoon from Illinois.
I must suck. I got a D tackle. I got Sakaya Ika from Baylor going here.
That's not a bad pick, though. It's not a bad pick. All right, 18th. And again, my 2.0 will probably be very different because honestly, if we think this Aaron Rodgers thing is going to happen and Michael Mayer going higher, yeah. But for here, I actually have Dan Campbell getting Michael Mayer. We got a tight end head coach here. You just traded away a Hawk the Cock this past season. It's time to get a replacement, baby. And who better than Michael Mayer, who fell down to 18 here for me?
I actually tossed up 2 players for this spot. A corner or what my opinion is the best tight end in the draft, and Dalton Kincaid. But I do have them going corner, Christian Gonzalez.
I like how we all have different top tight ends in our minds. I have the Detroit Lions going D tackle here from Clemson, Brian Breesy.
Okay.
I like that pick. I have the Lions going wide receiver. This is where I put Jackson Smith, however you say his
Jackson Smith Njigba.
I mean, look, if he's there at this point, I could
Njigba.
definitely see it. I mean, honestly, and got to think for a sec, boys, on mine. There's still one receiver that I have not named yet. One of the bigger names being Quentin Johnson is falling for me right now. So, I mean, it wouldn't shock me if a team just said, fuck it, we'll go ahead and snag him. Tampa Bay at 19, I have them beefing up the O-line because they desperately need it. Interior line, especially probably the only interior lineman that will go in the first round, Osiris Torrance from Florida.
I have them taking Lucas Van Ness.
I like it. So, I will probably definitely, and 2.0, I will probably not have this pick in my 2.0. I've got the Buccaneers taking C.J. Stroud.
Oh, shit, yeah, he hadn't been taken for you. I just realized that.
Damn!
He has not been taken from me. I'm telling you guys, I don't think he goes high up. That's just my opinion.
I'm curious to hear your
I could
reasoning.
be totally wrong. No more Tom Brady. You got to get a quarterback.
No.
Will Levis is going to be gone.
I'm curious to hear your reasoning that a 2-time Heisman candidate falls this far.
I don't think he's that good. I really don't. I think he's overrated. I honestly think he's overrated.
We'll have to,
No, I will
we'll have to
agree
dive
with
into
you
that.
on that.
We'll have to dive into that in future draft episodes.
Listen, real quick, I'll just for CJ Stroud personally, believe me, I'm much rather be in Tampa Bay than Houston. Believe
Facts.
me. So that would be a lot better for his career,
Yeah,
personally.
100%.
Honestly, though, that new head coach is looking mighty fine at Houston.
Yeah, mighty fine to get fired in a year.
But here I have Tampa Bay going Nolan Smith, edge from Georgia.
Okay. Number 20, Seattle back up again. There's a couple of different ways they can go here, but in my opinion, one of the best safeties on the board is here. Why not fucking get him? Brian Branch from Alabama.
I got them going cornerback here from Georgia, Keely Ringo.
If he's still there, I've got Tyree Wilson. This is where I put Tyree Wilson on the board.
Okay.
I have Anton Harrison, offensive tackle from Oklahoma.
Hey, no wrong with that. They just got Charles Cross, I think,
Nothing wrong
adding
with that.
another one. I mean, oh, battles won in the trenches, baby. All right, Chargers, number 21 pick. Antoine Harrison, offensive tackle from Oklahoma for me. Pair him on the other side of Rashawn Slater.
I got them getting another offensive weapon in Zay Flowers from Boston College.
Okay.
I have them go. Oh, go ahead, Ricky.
Oh, no, you're good.
I have them beefing up that interior line. I mean, that's been a big concern for the last 2 years. I have them going Broderick Jones, tackle from Georgia.
Okay. Okay.
I have them going offensive tackle as well. I've got Jalen Duncan out of Maryland.
Okay. Okay. Number 22, Baltimore. Finally off the board here for me. Quentin Johnson getting a good weapon in Baltimore.
I got Baltimore going with Jackson Smith and Jigba. With Levis in town and a new offensive coordinator on the way, I think Jackson Smith and Jigba is the best wide receiver going into this draft.
I have Lamar Jackson staying in Baltimore, but I do have them still getting Jackson Smith, Najigba, and helping Lamar Jackson on the outside.
And I had Jackson Smith going pretty early. Because I mean, don't get me wrong, he'd be a good fit for Baltimore. I think he's a better fit for Detroit, though. I've got Jordan Addison going here out of USC.
Okay. 23 pick, Minnesota. I've got him getting Trenton Simpson, best linebacker of the draft here.
I got
said what I
Minnesota
said.
getting. I got Minnesota getting probably. I would say the best cornerback in the draft, but he's a little undersized, but he fits well in Minnesota's cover 6 that they love to do. They rarely call man, and they rarely call any other thing except for cover 6, and that's Joey Porter Jr.
Like it.
I like it.
I have them going corner as well, helping them out in a spot where they desperately need, but I'm have them going Cam Smith from South Carolina.
Okay.
I went the total opposite way. I had an offensive lineman. I've got DeJuan Jones out of Ohio State.
Okay. Next up, Jacksonville Jaguars. I have them going Keely Ringo here, beefing up the secondary.
Got them getting guard from Florida, Osiris Torrance.
I like that, though.
I have them also helping the secondary, but having fallen this far in my board, I have them taking Joey Porter Jr. corner out
Love
of
that
Penn
one.
State.
Love that one.
Yeah, so I've got one here that I know Alex would love to see. It's probably not going to happen, but I've got Zay Flowers out of Boston College.
I would love that, but you got to keep in mind, we're getting Calvin Ridley next year.
That is very true, but
Yeah.
like I said, I think
Never wrong with
beefing
more
up your wide
weapons.
receiver.
Yeah.
I think this is. I think the reason, my reasoning behind this, it's one of those deals where, do you want to let go of this talent? Because he has Zay Flowers is a pretty good talent. So that was my thinking on this. Do I let this talent go, or do I go in a secondary position? So that's my thinking behind it.
Gotcha. Next up, the Giants, New York Football Giants. I am getting Zay Flowers here.
I got them getting Josh Downs, wide receiver from North Carolina.
Okay.
I also have receiver, the fourth and last receiver off of my board, Jordan Addison.
Okay.
From USC.
I went a stretch on the wide receiver. Of course, I already had Jordan Addison taken off the board. I've got Cedric Tillman out of Tennessee.
Okay. That is okay. All right. Dallas Cowboys. I will say it's going to be tickling Jerry Jones' penis here that there's going to be Drew Sanders on the board. You know, he loves his Arkansas Razorbacks. But I got Lucas Van Ness from Iowa.
I got them going linebacker here. I got them going with Trenton Simpson from Clemson.
Okay.
I think that he has similar builds to Michael Parsons, and I think that he's going to be able to be a lockdown on the second level for the Cowboys while Parsons is on the edge.
I also have them going linebacker. And I like the Drew Sanders pick here, but at the end of the day, Drew Sanders is a smaller kind of guy. Can't really play inside that well. He is an edge type guy, but you already have a Michael Parsons there. So I also have them taking Trenton Simpson.
So I went a totally different direction on this one. For the simple fact is, you have no idea what's going to happen with Zeke if they want to go ahead and let him go. And then you also take into consideration is Tony Pollard going to be 100% healthy? If they
Ooh.
do end up letting Zeke go, I think they go running back here. Bijan Robinson out of Texas.
I like that. I like that
Okay,
so much.
okay. Well, for my 20, go ahead.
There is only maybe 3 or 4 teams left that I have Bijan going to in the last part of this draft here. Cowboys was definitely one of them.
Yeah.
Especially because I think they're going to be stuck with Zeke because of the money. And I don't think they're going to have the money to re-sign Pollard. Pollard will go somewhere else next year, unfortunately. So I do have them possibly taking a running back here. But I feel like they need a bigger need in that Trenton Simpson help that defense out. So
Yeah. And for my 27th pick for Buffalo, I actually have Bijan Robinson going here for Buffalo. They need a run game. If Bijan Robinson is here at 27, Buffalo needs to fucking grab him. I don't care if it's considered a reach. They need to grab him. They need a running game. That's not Josh Allen.
Yeah, I got Buffalo also taking Bijan Robinson. Although I can really see them taking Mohamed Ibrahim from Minnesota because I think he fits their scheme better.
Okay.
that definitely went into my thought here. That's why I have Buffalo getting Osiris Torrance, offensive lineman from Florida.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree with you, Alex. If Bijan is still here, I think Buffalo will snag him. But I'm going to assume that the Cowboys are going to be smart about their draft this year and actually pick him up. So I've got Jahmyr Gibbs out of Alabama.
Okay. Okay. 28th pick, Cincinnati. I got them going with Nolan Smith here. I know they need to go offensive line, but all the best ones that are really first-round grades are here, and I feel like anyone you get from here may be a little bit of a reach. There are some other candidates that could get picked here, like Cody from North Dakota State, and there's a couple others, but I feel like they're going to, maybe go edge rush here. One of the best edge rush still on the board.
I got them picking Cody Mouse from North Dakota State because I honestly think
That's
he
fair.
might be a hidden gem.
That's fair.
I have the Bengals getting Antonio Johnson, safety from Texas A&M.
Okay.
I also have them getting Antonio Johnson.
Okay. 29th pick. We didn't even talk about this because honestly we didn't have time to get to it. But of course, Sean Payton is now the head coach of the Denver Broncos. So that means New Orleans does have this pick, and Jacob even called that in his mock draft weeks, like a week and a half ago. He had that already lined up. So for the 29th pick with the New Orleans Saints, I have him getting Shikai Ika, I think is how you pronounce his name, defensive lineman from Baylor.
I will second that.
Okay.
I will say if you saw the first picture that I sent,
Yep.
I did have Green Bay, or not Green Bay, Denver taking him here.
Yep.
But I think a guy just below him won in the rankings that the Saints may like a little bit better. Homegrown guy, BJ Ojulari from LSU.
So I did not change my pick. I meant to change it before I submitted it again. I meant to change the whole thing because originally I had the Broncos taking Drew Sanders here. With the Saints, I think I'll go with Keelan White out of Georgia Tech.
Okay. Okay. 30th pick, So this, of course, is not set in stone. It's going to depend on the Super Bowl. But as of now, I got KC losing the Super Bowl, and I have them beefing up their secondary with Antonio Johnson from Texas A&M because they need secondary help.
I got them picking up B.J. Ojulari
Good pick.
from LSU.
I have them, the Chiefs losing, of course, and I have them picking up the best tight end in the draft board, Dalton Kincaid.
Okay.
Well, they already have a tight end named Travis Kelce, so I really didn't go tight end. I did went ahead. I think if Osiris Torrance, if he's still on the board, which according to my board he still is, I believe they snag him.
Okay. And lastly,
Now,
what?
Real quick, I just want to kind of this. So my kind of graphs from Dalton Kincaid, his draft comparison is actually Kelce. With Kelce, now don't get me wrong, Kelce
You're
is
wanting
the
them to
best
have
tight
two
end
Kelces.
in the league
Yeah,
right
but
now.
you got to get back up. Yeah.
Yeah. With Kelce getting older, why not have him actually be groomed by the guy he's compared to?
Okay. All
That's I agree. I agree
Okay.
with that. I can agree with that.
All right, and lastly, the Super Bowl winner, Philadelphia Eagles. I have them actually getting Drew Sanders here from Arkansas.
I have them going defense again this year, or for the second time this year, and Brian Branch from Alabama. I will say that the 49ers do not have a pick in this first round, but I do have them signing Tom Brady in the offseason.
You have who signing Tom Brady? Sorry.
San Fran.
The 49ers.
Gotcha. This was kind of a reach. I believe this guy is a first round talent. We spoke about him earlier. I have him, the Eagles taking Bijan Robinson to have a massive backfield with him and Miles Sanders.
Okay.
That's about to say I like it as well. I went with Luke Weipler. I don't like that pick, but I figured why not? It's an offensive lineman.
Okay, and the
I
last
will
little,
I will change that pick.
and the last little note for me is obviously I did not have Anthony Richardson going in the first round. I believe it is all smoke and nonsense. I truthfully do. I believe it will be a situation of last year of 2022 draft. I really do. I don't think a team. There might be one or two teams that might get a little gun happy with it, but I do think teams will come to their senses and not take him in the first round. But that could obviously change depending on how pro days and combine goes. But as of now, no AR-15 in the first round. So yeah, mock draft 1.0 is locked in. We'll be posting it over at Twitter at TerribleFB Show and our respective Twitters if we want. It's up to you boys, as well as the website sparky3.com. You can sign up for free. There's $5 a month. And honestly, if you boys want to post them in the Discord, feel free to post them there as well. I sent you all you guys the picture, so you guys can do that if you'd like. Make sure to join the Discord. You can come chat with us. We're going to wrap the show because apparently I've had food ready for like 20 minutes and I've been getting yelled at because food is like done and plated.
It didn't last an hour and a half. The draft board only lasted about 47 minutes.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Well, we'll definitely get to have more time to go more in depth for draft stuff once Super Bowl's done. So I'm really looking forward to that. But boys, last thoughts.
I'm excited for season 3.
Yeah, season 3 is about to be here for this show.
This is some of my favorite time of the year when on my free time I get to just watch tape and stats and combine stuff on these players and really get to know them. Because I'm going to be honest with you, this year and last year I haven't had time to watch a lot of football. So this is kind of the time on my free time that I get to do that and kind of catch up on what these guys can do on the field. So,
Jacob, Ricky, got anything?
I can't wait to go see a Cowboys game.
Listen, now I did say that trade exactly has to happen. Like exactly how you have it.
Oh,
he's confident. He's confident. Ricky, got anything?
Yeah, I'm gonna come up with my 2.0. I'm gonna come up with some weird draft situation like Jacob did, and hopefully one of you guys will make a bet with me.
Hey, I've been right so far in this offseason with the Cowboys and with the trade.
If you want the best chance of that happening,
you are 2 for.
Yeah.
You are 3 for 3, my friend. Yeah, you are 3 for 3.
No, I will say I don't doubt that it could happen, but exactly how he said it with the picks and everything. Come on,
did you put like a 7th round pick? Did you say like a 7th round pick as well?
I said Baltimore gets the 8th pick, the 44th pick, the 1st and 2nd round pick for next year, and defensive tackle Grady Jarrett.
Oh, if this happens,
Legendary.
I swear, you're sending me your board and I'm putting my name on it.
Ricky's never messing with it again. He's just like, hey, just let me.
Never.
Yeah, it's like, let me
Done.
have yours. It's done. It's done. Now, Rick, if you want the best
And-
chance for something wild to get a bet out of it, I guess do something wild with the Bears, and I'll definitely make a bet with you. You'll definitely get something out of me if you go really outlandish with it.
I got you. I got you. I got you. I got you.
All right, well,
Yeah,
we're going to wrap up.
definitely.
We'll be back next week, of course. Looking forward to it leading up to Super Bowl week. Until next time, guys, have a good one. Later.